It's time we set a few things straight. It's time we set a few things straight. You know, we sit back and we discuss things and we bring things to attentions of others and they fall on deaf ears. You see, because sometimes what we need and what we want makes other people extremely uncomfortable. It makes them extremely uncomfortable, and they're not comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, who is comfortable with being uncomfortable? So in the words of our brother Jason Black, we must bring comfort to the afflicted and bring affliction to the comfortable. What that means is we are all going to be equally comfortable under a system of justice, or we're all going to be equally uncomfortable under a system of injustice. We will not allow these people to shame us, do these little moral high ground tactics of, oh my God, you shouldn't speak that way. We should all be thinking about unity and this and that. Fuck you. And fuck your unity. Because when we bring our issues to the table, the first thing y'all trying to do is divert it to some other shit that you're more comfortable talking about. That's what y'all like to do. Hold on real quick. That's what y'all like to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it very clear how we getting down going forward. We will not be allowing any outsiders or traitors to speak for us. So I don't care if you black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever your race, color, or credence is. I don't care. If you are not for black empowerment, you don't speak for us. If you are not for black empowerment, you don't speak for us. If you're not black, you are not qualified to speak for us. You're only qualified to regurgitate our talking points, but you are not allowed to speak for us. That is something we will no longer allow. Because what happens is you get a little too comfortable and then you start deviating the conversation. You start talking a little crazy. So to alleviate all that, we're just going to make sure we keep you in the position of either you're going to follow our lead or you're going to get the fuck out the way. That's what's going to happen going forward. You're going to follow our lead or get the fuck out the way. Because what use are you? How do you make yourself useful? How are you of any use to us if you're disrespecting and not following our direction? What makes you of any use? You see, because what happens is these people get a little bold over the years. Now, I called out Peter Rosenberg because I've been seeing him just flying off the handle on Twitter. And I found out why. Because he's Jewish. And a lot of Jewish things been coming up lately. So he's been flying off the handle on Twitter. And I'm just like, yo, but Rosenberg, you can speak up for the Jewish community because, that's your community. But you're not authorized to speak up for black empowerment. If you want to go give your commentary on WWE, give your commentary on hip hop music, you can give your commentary on whatever the fuck you want. But you don't speak for black empowerment. No one who isn't black can speak for black empowerment. That's not possible. If you're not black, you're automatically disqualified to speak for Black empowerment. What you are qualified for is to agree with Black empowerment, to agree with what we're presenting to the table. If your goal is to divert or send or to send us away or whatever the situation may be, if your job is to do some other things outside of champion Black empowerment, you are an enemy. If you do anything that does not stand for Black empowerment, you're not an ally. We don't need you. You're in the way. And if you're in the way, you're a distraction. If you're a distraction, you're an enemy. You see, distraction comes in all forms. You understand me? It comes in all forms. And what people like to do is try and make it seem like distractions only come in the form of a white face, a white male face. No. See, they think a distraction only comes in the form of a swastika or a Make America Great Again hat or a Blue Lives Matter flag. They think that's the only form of a distraction. But that's not it. Distraction can come in the form of entertainment. It can. It can come in the form of entertainment. There's many ways a distraction can come. So I don't want us to get distracted from what the common goal is. The common goal is Black empowerment. Anything that isn't Black empowerment is a distraction. I don't want to hear your moral high grounds because y'all didn't have those moral high grounds when it came to us. Y'all didn't go this hard when it came to protecting us. Now it's time to reprimand us. All of a sudden, everybody got an opinion and they got a moral high ground to stand on. No, those days are over. Those days are over. Viacom, they just severed all ties with Nick Cannon because of what he said on his podcast. Black people riding for him. Those days are over. When we're talking about white supremacy, we are talking unapologetically about the dismantling of a white supremacist system. White supremacy system. We're talking unapologetically about dismantling that. We don't care who's involved with upholding the system of white supremacy, including the Jewish community. If you are a part of upholding the system of white supremacy, you are the enemy. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Jewish, whatever you are, we don't care. If you are a part of with upholding that system, you are the enemy. See, what y'all think is we're not allowed to say anything about the Jewish community because they went through the Holocaust. Now, I'm going to say something that's true. You can call it controversial all you want. But what we went through as the Black Americans in America is far worse than what they went through with the Holocaust. That doesn't mean what they went through wasn't horrible. Does not mean that in any way, shape, or form. But don't sit here and make it seem like the Holocaust is the say-all, be-all of trauma and mistreatment in the entire world history. How Black Americans been treated by America is the worst form of trauma and treatment in all of history, and nothing comes close to that. Nothing comes close. I told y'all, I got pictures of postcards that's been posted up and been sent around to people's families and communities after they got a black man hanging in a tree. So don't sit here and act like there's some more high ground to stand on. I'm not buying it. You can get mad all you want. That don't mean the facts are inaccurate. That don't mean at all. So what I'm saying is it's time that everyone is equal under the system of justice. And in order for that to happen, we must first dismantle the system of white supremacy. So then, if all y'all want to go live in Kumbaya and this, that, and the third, you can go ahead and do that. But that won't happen until everyone is comfortable in a system of justice. If anyone is uncomfortable in a system of justice, that means everybody needs to be uncomfortable in a system of injustice. So what we're seeing now is mainstream media's attempt to silence people because they don't like the words that they say when it comes to speaking against the system of white supremacy. See, the system here is meant to cause confusion, and it's based off illogical reasoning. So if they can't find a reason put in one of their boxes, then they have a go-to one. That's called the system of white supremacy. So I say so. So they'll just start making up shit. They'll change laws on the books immediately. Like when it was time to persecute Bill Cosby, they found out what state he was going to be tried in and changed the law immediately so they can persecute Bill Cosby. Whether he's guilty or not guilty, I'm not even concerned about that. My issue is that they are willing to change the law in a stroke of a pen in order to persecute a black man. So that means you guys know better. That means you can do what's being asked of you, and that is to have an equal system of justice. You just choose not to do it. And what it is they hide themselves behind somebody like a Bill Cosby or R. Kelly. Like, look, nobody's going to stand up for them. Nobody's going to stand up for them because those people are horrible people. Whether they're horrible or not, I'm not focused on that. Do what needs to be done. Everybody needs to be treated equally under the system of justice. That's what I'm saying. So if it comes persecution to Bill Cosby, you better go ahead and start persecuting everybody else too. So what I'm saying is they changed the law to do it. They changed the law to do it. That's where the issue comes in. That's like, wait a minute. So now y'all are circumventing and making up laws to do things? That doesn't seem right there. Y'all are now making up laws, changing laws to carry out justice. When we want justice under the current laws, that don't seem to be possible. But you guys are willing to change a law to carry out justice. So that's where the issue came in when it involves Bill Cosby. No one was defending Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby didn't speak up for black people. He was actually reprimanding black people. He wouldn't work with black people, none of that. So that's why none of the comedians spoke out for him. Because they're like, yo, this dude sit here and reprimand us all the time. We're not speaking up for him. He got to hold his own nuts. And no one was mad at other comedians about it because we know how Bill Cosby get down was. But the thing that made everybody raise their eyebrows was like, whoa. Okay, Bill Cosby's going to go ahead and do what he needs to do. But y'all changed the laws. What's this? What is this? Y'all changing laws now? That's when the concern came in at. You see, when you start changing laws to persecute people, we like, well, so you know the law is wrong, you know the law is rigged, you know the law is improper, but you were able to find the time to change a law. Why didn't you do that before? Because when someone else does these kind of heinous crimes, it's always, the laws are the laws. We got to follow the law. But when somebody's black that's doing it, it's all of a sudden, well, the law is wrong. Let's change the law and then go get this nigga. See, a lot of y'all didn't know that because y'all was okay with Bill Cosby going to jail because all those women spoke out against him. But y'all didn't pay attention to the details of it. See, I'm not an emotional person like y'all are. Not y'all that I'm talking to. I'm sorry. I'm talking to the people who ain't on our wavelength. People that listen to this, y'all up on game. But there are people out there, them people, I'm going to start saying them. I don't want to say y'all because that's not even the right adjective. Those people. They weren't paying attention to the details because they were okay with Bill Cosby being persecuted. So they allowed the law change and inconsistencies in the story to go ahead and slide because they're like, look, this is disgusting, man. I can't be publicly defending him because of what he did was heinous and wrong, and I don't ever want to defend that. You don't have to defend Bill Cosby, but you can look at them funny in the way they're executing their justice. See, that's the part you got to focus on. That's the part I focus on. I always tell y'all, I don't get happy with arrest. I don't get happy with charges. I get happy with convictions and sentencing. Convictions and sentencing. If I don't see the proper conviction, if I don't see the proper sentence, I'm not happy. Y'all cheer just from mere arrest. Somebody get arrested, y'all ready to throw a goddamn barbecue. I gotta use the proper words. They ready to throw a damn barbecue just off somebody getting arrested. So that tells me that already tells me they're not prepared. They're not ready for the long fight. They let Bill Cosby go. The only time they talk about him is when he pop up in their timeline. They're not ready for the long fight. We need to leave them. I told y'all this before. We have to leave them. They're not ready, and that's okay. They're not. You got to leave them. It might be your cousins. It might be your parents. Whoever. Leave them. Either they're going to catch up or they're going to just be the dead weight that fell off the wagon that we needed off anyway. One of the two. That's what's going to happen. So we have to get out of this. We have to save everybody mentality, because then that's when you start bringing broken chain links to the game. And now we got weak links fucking the game up for us, which is what we don't need. We don't need weak links? Why do we want weak links? Because you think we got to save every black person? That's what you think? No. Some of these niggas got to get left, brother. They got to get left. And that's okay. Your mama might have to get left. She's a hood rat. That's okay. Hopefully she shapes up. You can go back and get her. Your daddy a dusty nigga. You gotta leave him. That's okay. Hopefully he shapes up. You can go back and get him. Your brother or your sister's a coon. Your cousin's a coon. That's okay. Leave them for now. Maybe they'll shape up and swing back around. I've seen it. I've seen people go from, damn, yo, you're a little shaky, to, oh shit, you up on it. Okay. So they're not completely lost, but now is not the time to try and fix them. Now is the time to lock arms with whoever you need to lock arms with, truck forward, and then once we go ahead and take care of what we need to take care of and clean up house, then we go ahead and start vetting everybody, let who in, who out. It's that simple. That's the issue that we have, is we have an issue of trying to be saviors. We don't need to be saviors. We don't need to be saviors. You see, hold on, got these people who need some education on Twitter, because I had to get at Rosenberg. He responded, and now a bunch of I don't know, bullshit profiles, a couple real people, but a bunch of bullshit profiles trying to get at me. They think I'm a fold. I don't fold. Ask my wife. I don't even fold my own clothes. You hear me? I don't fold. Speaking of, she want me to bring the laundry up from the basement. She told me I need to bring the laundry up. That's what she told me. Because she knows I don't fold. You understand me? So, with that being said, am I going good? Okay. That being said, the point I'm making is we need to make sure we immediately correct and eject. Remember I told you about correcting and ejecting. We need to correct and eject unauthorized speakers of our movement. If the people aren't moving and saying the things that we are saying, they're going against what we're saying, or they're trying to distract away from what we're saying, that is something we need to address. We don't need to spend too much time on. Don't spend too much time arguing with motherfuckers. I'm telling you, you're going to be wasting your time. Now, if you got some spare time, you want to let off a few shots, or if you want to use those bots to get bigger points off, because I like doing that. I like to, when I get attacked by these little bots, I like to use them to get bigger points off. So I'll sit here and argue to get my shit off, because the point is, you come to my feed, I want you to see I've been on my shit no matter who it is. So I like to get my shit off sometimes. So that's another tool I like to use. But if you gonna sit here and argue with a nigga about some menial or trivial shit, you wasting your time, because that's not something you need to be doing. I think my son leaving. He ain't say nothing. He mad at me. He'll be all right. But you know, you gotta. Oh, I know this nigga ain't say that. So with that being said, we have to make sure we keep the unauthorized speakers away from our narratives, because what they'll do is they'll act like their ally. They'll present themselves as the person that a mainstream media company can be comfortable with putting on TV, because you notice they won't put Professor Black Truth on the TV. They won't put the Black Authority on TV or on their TV shows to debate anyone, because they're not comfortable with those kind of people coming on TV. See, what it is with Tariq, the reason why you'll see him on TV, because he comes from that ilk already, so he can get the shit off. You see, that's why I hate when people try to make it seem like he's not important to the movement. See, he's important to the movement too, because somebody like him would be able to get that information off. Give me 2 seconds. So someone like Tariq already have TV connections. So that's why you'll see him on TV more. And then again, he also is of the ilk of a Jason Black and Professor Black Truth. They do have more hostile viewpoints, not of more of like not dangerous or radical, but they, let's just say, putting them on TV, you better be ready for it. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna, they don't play nice on TV. I'm not saying Tariq does either, because he calls them right out on their shit. I'm not even saying that. It's just he understands how to communicate it on TV. At a level that, you know, they're, even if they feel like he's radical, they're much more comfortable with him, because they're like, all right, he won't at least go off the handle because he's used to it and he understands TV, so we can go with him. So it's that kind of thing. Nonetheless, unauthorized speakers will no longer be speaking for us. We need to understand that. Now, with that being said, what did they say? I seen an email. I don't know. I'm doing my thing here. Let me check something, because I want to tell you about this. Okay. All right. So with that being said, it's another thing I want to go over with y'all. Let me just get my notes pulled up, because I like to make sure I stay on top of it, stay on schedule, and things of that nature. All right. So I want to talk about this black on black crime narrative that just continues to get pushed as if it's the say all be all, as if it's the I just want to check my time real quick. All right, we good. If it's the say all be all, as if it's the if it's the only measuring stick of how well black people are doing, or why, or if black people should be saying anything about injustice, because that's what they like to use. They like to use, hey, you guys shouldn't speak about injustices because this black on black crime rate it's crazy. So it's just like, I notice you guys always point to the percentage when y'all speak about black on black crime, but then y'all talk raw numbers when y'all speak on white people getting pulled over more than black people. Because if you did the numbers on that, the percentage on that, it would look crazy. You're like, why would you even bring this up? You know you're dumb for this. So let me say this. When it comes to black on black crime, that is a farce. There's no such thing as black on black crime. It is called proximity. People that live close to each other, and I know I said this, so I won't be spending a lot of time on this. People that live close to each other are always going to be the ones to harm each other. That's why serial killers are so polarized. That's why they love to do these scientific breakdowns on. So you go to the Reels channel, they're going to talk about every fucking serial killer known to man. But if you go to Snap, if you watch that show Snapped, what typically happens there? It typically is a person that knows each other that snapped, who normally is perceived normal, snapped and they harm somebody or kill somebody that they know. Why? Because of proximity. If a man, if a woman is found dead and it is determined that she was murdered, the first people they're going to look at is every single person that she knows. Boss, coworker, husband, brother, cousin, uncle, father, whoever, sister, spot, like whatever. They're going to look at the people that are close to them first. They're going to look at them first because they're going to be like, wait a minute. This woman was murdered. How did this happen? Let's go check that family. Let's go down the pecking order. And they're going to do that by elimination. So they're going to be like, we need to eliminate suspects. So let's make sure it wasn't the husband. Let's make sure it wasn't this person. It's always going to be that way. So why do they do that? Because they know people near each other are more than likely to hurt each other. Therefore, when they only say black on black crime, there's no white on white crime statistics that they like to tote around. There's no Hispanic on Hispanic crime statistics that they like to tote around. There's no Asian on Asian crime statistics that they like to tote around. There is none. Why? Because they know for a fact if you start toting around those statistics, that black on black crime statistic would look very tame. You notice they only use violent ones. And not even violent ones. They only use like assault, murder, and things of that nature. They don't do all-encompassing crime. They don't say, well, crime, black on black. They say black on black crime, but they don't use all the crime numbers. Because if you start doing all the crime numbers, you got to look at the pedophiles, the rapists, the assault victims, the domestic violence. You got to look at everything that counts as crime, robbery, white-collar crimes, I guess you call it, I don't want to call it blue collar crimes, but white collar crimes such as fraud and money laundering and things of that nature. They made a movie about a person committing fraud and they glorified it as if it's not a fucking crime. So do not come to me and my community on this moral high ground when you glorify crime. You glorify and you idolize serial killers. They had Zac Efron play Ted Bundy because they wanted to sexualize him. That's why Ted Bundy was able to get away with murder for so long, because he was too busy being sexualized. That's why he was able to get away with murder for so long. They were too busy sexualizing him. And that's why they had Zac Efron play him, because they wanted to continuously sexualize him. He has an intriguing story. It's very interesting. What is so fucking interesting about a sick murderer running around murdering random women across the country? What the fuck is so interesting about that? If you look up James Patterson, or I think that's his name, the author, who write all them goddamn true crime stories, it's a reason why he's one of the best-selling authors of all time. Because their infatuation or obsession with violent crimes tells us who's truly the violent offenders. See, what they like to use is black on black crime. They don't like to use everybody else on black crime. They don't like to mix it up. They don't like to, you see, you gotta be able to recognize when narratives are being painted. Then you also got to be able to recognize how false that these narratives are if you do a simple search. If you go to the FBI's website, I'll give you the exact website, matter of fact, because Marv got a thing for the receipts, so you know how I do. If you go to FBI, please tell me I screenshot the link. It's on the FBI's website. I didn't screenshot the link. I'm sorry. Go to FBI website, look up crime in the United States, and then you can look at the race of the victim and the race of the offender. So let me give you something here. Race of the victim, white, 3,499. Race of the offender, white, 2,854. Race of the offender, black or African American, 533. Race of the offender, other, 40. Race of the offender, unknown, 72. That's the total number of the victim. Sex offender. Race of the sex offenders. 3,157 are male. 5,000. Are white males. 2,586 are black males. Other races 185. Unknown races 75. Even the white women are higher. 335 are white women. 270 are black women. Then 35 of other race, 11 is unknown. And then they got a bunch of unknown stats, which that is irrelevant. No, we don't need to do ethnicity because that isn't what's my call. So these are this is based on race, ethnicity, and sex by race. This is as of 2016. Single victim, single offender. Now, sex victim. Here's the total. Totals are the first numbers I read, and then it's gonna break down everything else. Sex of the victim. The total number is 4,756. Race. I'm sorry, that's males, and then females is 1,913. So these are the victims. White men, 2,073. Black men, 2,455 victims. Females, white women, 1,117. Black women, 696. And then sex of the offender. White males, 4,260. White females, 1,735. These are the offenders, the people who commit the crime. White women, 471. I mean, white men, white, I'm sorry, what the fuck? Hold on. I think I fucked this up. I'm sorry. The first one was men. Wait a minute. I read wrong. I read that wrong. My apologies. I read that one wrong. What it's saying is that the sex of the person committing the crime is a white man who's 4,260. Black man is 4,701. White woman is 1,735. Black woman 176. So as you can see, if you just look at the raw numbers, who's truly committing the most of the crime, but they love to use this black on black violence because they like to say, hey, black people are harming black people a lot. Okay. But that don't mean it's specifically because they're black. See, that's the thing. When you say black on black crime, you're saying that these people are committing crimes because they're black. They're committing crimes against each other because they're black. That's not the case. That's not the case. They're not harming each other for simple fact of being the same race. That's not the case. But that's what they like to paint. That's what they like to paint, and that's why we have to make sure we counter that with the same stats that they using against us, against them. Yeah, it would be nice if everybody did everything certain ways. God. Yes, that would be so excellent. What is this? Hold on, I thought my meeting got moved to tomorrow. Let me check something. I'm sorry, y'all. No idea what that is, but let me check something real quick, y'all. So we have to make sure we keep that clear and concise when it comes to those metrics. Sorry, I had to send that message real quick. Now, with that being said, we must talk about the system that needs to be dismantled. You see, because all I'm seeing is these symbolisms that mean nothing to me. Painting Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Tower, painting Black Lives Matter leading up to the White House doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Because there's no laws that are being passed. I just told y'all they changed the law to make sure they provided justice against Bill Cosby. Again, not defending Bill Cosby because, again, he didn't give a fuck about us. We don't give a fuck about him. But it's the circumstances surrounding Bill Cosby that makes me look at things a little strange here. Like, wait a minute. You guys can change the law like that to drop a hat to make sure you can get a conviction? Wow. That's new? Or is it? You see, there's some people who are jumping for jubilation to these symbolic victories, is what they like to call them. The tearing down of statues, the painting of streets, the changing of street names. I mean, they got a lot of energy for that. They're jumping for jubilation. But when it's time to talk about policy changes, there needs to be reviews and studies. Everything but a policy change. So when someone like me come up and be like, look, I don't give a fuck about I don't care if y'all paint Black Lives Matter on the street. Actually, I prefer y'all not do that. Y'all using tax dollars for that goofy shit. I actually prefer you not to do it. I prefer we go ahead and allocate the proper resources needed to go ahead and do those little funky ass studies that y'all think y'all need to do, which we don't need to do. We know what the problem is. I prefer we use resources to go ahead and get laws changed. I'm not interested in doing research so you guys can go paint a fucking street and say, hey, we're an ally. We painted a street on Donald Trump, right in front of Donald Trump's oh my goodness, that was so petty of us. And look at us. We love black people because we painted the street in front of Donald Trump's hotel. I don't give a fuck. That didn't do anything. And at the stroke of a pen, Donald Trump went ahead and signed into law some new direct funds for the Hispanic community. There was no black and brown coalition then. I didn't hear nothing about black and brown coalition now. Are we going to get some of those tangibles, Hispanic community? Our black and brown brothers? Are we going to get some of those tangibles? I'm just asking the question. I'm asking the question. As they painting on sidewalks saying Black Lives Matter, they didn't paint All Lives Matter. They didn't paint Brown Lives Matter. They painted Black Lives Matter. And in the same breath, Donald Trump said, yeah, that's nice. Hispanic community, let me go ahead and take care of y'all with this right here, specifically for you. Native community, you know what? Y'all are owed some shit too. Let me go ahead and get this for you. And there's no Native Lives Matter on no motherfucking streets right now. See, y'all love saying that cliche is chess, not checkers. Well, y'all playing checkers right now. That's what y'all doing. Y'all playing checkers right now. Because there's no other insert lives matter on no damn streets. It's only Black Lives Matters on the streets that's being painted, but ain't no damn laws getting changed or no tangibles getting coughed up. So I don't want no motherfucking painting on the street or no street name changes. I don't give a fuck. I want tangibles. That's what I want. You can save that other shit for somebody else, but not for me. So what we need to focus on is dismantling the system. Tearing down statues and painting streets don't mean shit. All right, cool. I'm not against tearing down statues. Don't get me wrong for any way. I don't want to save them motherfuckers either. But what I'm saying is there's a priority on policies and tangibles. Tangibles and policies. That is the priority, not statues and streets. What can our children do with statues being taken down and streets being painted? What can our children do with that? Poke their chest out a little bit? Then take their ass back to school and get miseducated? You got to focus. You got to be iron sharp. You got to understand that you're going to be feeling like you're alone in your feelings in a lot of things. And that got to be okay. You got to be okay with that. Because if you're not, you're going to find yourself in a very, very, very peculiar situation. You're going to find yourself dealing with some things like, yo, what the fuck am I going to do with this shit? I'm waiting on y'all to tell me what y'all going to do with the street paints and the street signs when Native Americans and Hispanic Americans just got tangibles. They just got tangibles and y'all got streets. Named after y'all. You know why? Because they're not talking to a party that doesn't have any control in government. Let's go there. We have to go there. We have to go there. They're not talking to a party that doesn't have any control in the government. The Republicans have the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. They have it all. Hispanic Americans and Native Americans aren't talking to the Democrats right now. They can't do shit for them. You understand me? What the fuck are you talking to a powerless entity for? So they can do that? That's what happens when you don't have power. You go do symbolic shit to show that, hey, we're on the same side. Let's focus on the system, then the symbols. Let's focus on the system, then we'll do the symbols. If your focus is anything outside of that, you have the wrong focus. For those of you who have been wondering what's been going on, what's been taking me so long, I am in the middle of converting everything to my website because, as you can see, they are taking people off of platforms. So I need to make sure I have a place that I can always divert people to something that I own. I have a website. I'm going to be distributing all things Marv Media Network wise through my specific website, through my LLC, M. Crittenden Enterprises. Everything will be going through that. So mcrittendenenterprises.com is the website. It's not completed yet. I'm in the middle of just uploading the backlog of podcasts and getting everything up and running. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it available to the world once I just get all the podcasts on there. And then I'll just keep tinkering and updating as I go because I don't have time to sit here and wait till things are perfect. Marv Media Network, I was initially going to shut it down. I changed my mind. We need to have a news cycle that is controlled by us. And it seems like Marv Media Network is a great place to do that. I still own that. So we're going to handle that as well. As far as Unorthodox Logic with Marv and the Marv's World page, I still want to do one-on-one interviews with people, especially with the music stuff. And then I also want to do one-on-one interviews with the Unorthodox Logic with Marv. So I want to get into that. I want to get into those platforms as well. So I want y'all to send me who y'all think I should interview. We can do it via Zoom, via phone, or in person. I'm willing to do all three, whichever we got to get done. It could be local, out of town. Send me those information. Send me who y'all want me to reach out to. I'll reach out to them, say what's up. I'll send them the numbers that we rock with, the numbers that we're putting up. And I thank y'all for those numbers, because that's very important. I thank y'all for that. As you continue to help us by sharing these episodes, I need y'all to do that, please. Share these episodes and things of that nature. It is growing our number, and that way we can go ahead and do what needs to be done. All right. So I'll be back next week, whether I got the website ready to go or not. I'm just going to just keep distributing through the current website I distribute through. And then once I get mine up and running, you're not even going to know, to be honest with you. I'll tell y'all, but you won't notice the difference. That's why I got to do the backlog first. So when you go to refresh, you won't see episodes disappear or anything like that, especially for people who like to go back and forth through episodes, because I don't put episode numbers, because I feel like what I talk about is applicable in all forms. So I don't put episode numbers. I just put the title of the episode, listen to it. Based on the title and read the description, you'll see what I'm talking about. You're like, oh shit, I need to go listen to that. So that's where we're at right now. That's why I missed, I think, 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, is because I was trying to convert, thinking I'll have it ready. Then I'm like, I don't want to distribute through them again because they may cut me off. And I'm like, you know what? You got to get an episode out. So that's why here we are. And that's why I'm a day early with the episode. And you see it's kind of in the middle of the day, is because I wanted to get an episode out immediately. And I'm going to continue to record some more episodes so I can just keep pushing them out for y'all. My boy Jerry told me I should just record a bunch of episodes so I can have a backlog. But I like to do fresh episodes, man. But he right. I probably should just do just some backlog episodes, just some ones that I can put generally out, especially when I have to miss a week or two like that when I'm doing, some just admin work essentially. But it's a lot of episodes. I produced the Trap Nerd podcast. I got to get all 100. We had 101 episodes, so I got to get all those episodes loaded. So that's a whole nother beast. I don't bore you to death with that technical stuff. Make sure you follow me on all social platforms at HVO Marv. And make sure you check out my music. It's on all streaming platforms. I got quite a few songs out. HVO Marv, Starvin' Marvin, Ear Crack. What's the other one? Starvin' Marvin, Ear Crack. Not My Style. And I'm trying to see what's online, because I got pretty much a song coming out every week, and I don't want to tell y'all the wrong name of the song, and y'all be looking for it. It ain't even out yet. Let me see what's on, because what I'm doing is just getting a digital footprint together. No, Discouraged. So, and Discouraged is one of the top streaming songs I got on Tidal. But y'all go listen to it on Spotify, Tidal, whatever the hell you listen to. I don't really care. I'm pretty sure Not My Style is going to be the top streaming one on yeah, Not My Style is the top one on Spotify. So Ear Crack, Not My Style, Starvin' Marvin, Discouraged. Go check all those joints out. Another one comes out. My birthday is Monday, so July 20th is my birthday. Make sure you wish me a happy birthday if you follow me on all social media platforms. And if you want to contribute to the show, I'm going to be setting up a Patreon and things of that nature where you can contribute to the show. And I truly will appreciate that. And I'm probably going to end up setting up a Cash App or something where you can go ahead and contribute to the show. If you want to send $1 or $2, whatever the case may be, cup of coffee, that's fine. I truly appreciate everything. So most importantly, I need y'all to share, like, subscribe, all that stuff on all social platforms. All right. Got y'all next week. We out.